Greetings everyone, I am Peter Tran, representing the Dev Samurai team. Today we will go on a journey to learn and harness the power of Agile tests for Jira. Agile Test is a powerful ad hoc test management for Jira. It provides a comprehensive platform for planning, organizing, executing, and tracking software testing activities within the Jira ecosystems. Agile Test allows Agile teams to efficiently manage their testing efforts, ensuring better collaboration and visibility and control over the testing process. This is the outline of today's context. Let's embark on an exciting journey where we will cover 5 key sections to help navigate Agile tests with ease. So, getting started in the first section, we will kick off by introducing how to integrate Agile tests into the Jira app. Agile setup and provide a quick overview of issues type mapping. You'll be up and running in no time. For the other sections, we will showcase the Agile Test Script feature. Agile Test Script provides a quick way to write test scripts, checklists with the editor, execute and record test results in line. Next, we will find out about the exploratory test. We will demonstrate how to manage your test sessions and ad hoc tests, allowing fast release cycles and continuous delivery. Following that, in Section 4, Test Management prepares to streamline users' testing process with Agile Test comprehensive features. We will go through requirements, preconditions, tests, test plans, and test executions. Under the drop-down of Test Management, all these features provide an inclusive testing solution within the Jira ecosystem. Now we move on to exploring Milestone, the specific points along a project timeline and signal anchors such as a project start and end date. And after that, in Overview, we provide you with comprehensive information about the entire project, containing Agile Test overall information. Finally, we will explore the customizable Agile Test settings, enabling users to tailor their unique requirements in the settings section to the project's workflow, team's preference, and integration needs. This is the project settings. This is the requirements and defects. And this is the team-managed project issue types mapping. By the end of the video, you will be equipped with the knowledge and confidence to leverage the full potential of Agile Tests for seamless test management. Now let's get started. We go to Atlassian Marketplace and search for Agile Tests in the search bar. And then we get it and install it into the app. We click the Install app. And click Manage App. And it will take us straight to the app management. Then, how do we integrate Agile Tests into our projects? Make sure that the project we wish using Agile Tests is a team-managed project. We either choose to integrate into an existing project or to create a new one. First, we choose to create project. We choose Kanban. Kanban development is sometimes preferred over Scrum for its flexibility, continuous delivery, lack of fixed timeframes, making it suitable for teams that have unpredictable changing requirements. For the sake of the video, I would choose Kanban as the base software development. We scroll down the page. This is a demonstration video for all users, so I would choose to make a team-managed project since anyone in your team can manage and set up issue type and custom fields contrary to the admins via the company-managed ones. So I would name it We have successfully created a team-managed project. After installing Agile Tests, there are some configurations we might need to ensure before using the app. Go to Manage Your Apps in Jira header menu. Navigate the Agile Test section on the left-hand side. Firstly, the Test Environment section refers to the setup or infrastructure required to execute software testing activities. By having dedicated and well-managed test environments, we can conduct testing in a controlled setting, facilitating the identification of defects and ensuring the quality of the software. For example, we create a new test environment. Let's call it window. For example, we create onto configuration. In this page, we can enable and disable Agile tests in Jira panel for some particular projects. Let's say I disable this, I enable this, and we move on to test step fields. Test step fields specific action or instruction performed during the execution of a test case. Each test step provides clear and concise guidance on what needs to be done to execute the test case accurately. So the way to solve this problem is to get these issue types configured. In the next phrase, choose issue type mapping in Agile test settings. Firstly, we download the icon link in the warning notification here by clicking on it. Then we can either click the above link or we can manually do this step by navigating to the project settings. Choose issue type, create issue, then fill out the name of our Agile test features and choose the according icon that we have previously downloaded. You can check our table here. After creating all these issue types, we go back to issue types mapping and manually assigning it. And click Save. Then we can check if Agile Test is integrated into the project or not. We choose Create Issue. And we see the Agile Test mark exists in the issue. That means Agile Test is integrated into the project. We now move on to the Milestone feature. A new milestone, we choose this. Like today, let's choose today. Let's choose 2 days from now and click create. The upcoming status of this milestone is set because we haven't even chosen to start it yet. We click here to show the details of the milestone. We can delete it or we can edit it. And since our project is set to start today, we will choose Start to change milestone status from upcoming to start. We can add a child milestone branch from the root milestone. The milestone that have been finished past due the planned end date will change from active to completed status. We move on to test script feature. In test script feature, we can create a new test script and edit the names. Furthermore, we can create a new folder and organize the hierarchy of our new test script by simply dragging and dropping it. Click on the test script to edit it. You should fill out the information about your test script. There are some hotkeys you might want to remember. There are some hotkeys on the keyboard you might want to check out. Press Enter to finish the row and start a new one. You can even press Tab to indent and make the row a child node. Or you can reverse it by pressing Shift plus Tab to remove indent and move the row to a higher structure level. Delete the chosen script by pressing Delete. And to execute a new test run, we simply create new test run. You can change the width of the column by dragging the bar. We can run, clear the results, and edit. Choose the milestone you want to assign it to, for example like this. Saving, or you can even delete the test run if you don't want. In exploratory test, we can find out about the test session. In the top, it displays all the test sessions information, and in the bottom, we can find the sessions according to the issue key. Let's create a new session. Here we can attach the image related to the test session. This is the options of the link issues. Select the roles that can view this issue. We can even flag it as impediment and assign it to people in the team. Let's make it assigned to me, create it. We can see the notification pop up. To make edits, we simply click on it. We can select the milestone related to this test session. Change the status of the session, in progress, assignee. And to run the session logs, we simply go to the test session editor and fill out the information. Up here, we can manipulate what we want the words to appear like. And when added a test session on the editor, it will show up on the test session summary and stacks from left to right, as left is the latest and right is the oldest. Scroll down to view all the session logs and make edits to them. Wrapped up the previous session, we will now move on to the next part of the Agile test large feature, the test management. This large feature comprises 4 features and more developing ones to come in the future. So the first one is requirement. A requirement refers to a specific statement or condition that defines what a product, system, or service must achieve or possess to meet the needs of stakeholders. On the left side, we find a dedicated section where we can create, edit, delete, or organize all the requirement groups in a hierarchical view. We click on it to make edits. or we can delete it. We can also choose which folder to clone, and the clone one won't contain the child of the clone. Click to rename it. Click to even drag and drop its position. Even drag and drop. Next we go to the requirement section. We can change the issue type in the settings later. In the settings, we can change it to be epic. Here we can see when we create a requirement, it can either be epic or task in the issue type. Assign to me. Search for the requirements we want. And we can filter it out by the assignee, unassigned none, but myself. Within the requirements, we can add test case, test scripts, and test sessions. As we recall, we have already created a few test scripts and test sessions already, so we can add those to the requirements in order to change the uncover and cover status of the issue. We can either create a new test script or an existing one. If we have many data lines, we can bulk selection them or single select them and choose what action you want to do with them. Let's create a new session within the requirement. We can even make edits to that newly created session right within the selected requirement. Let's fill out some session. If we want to learn how the status is calculated, let's move on to the analysis and scope test coverage calculation. For the uncovered status, if there is no test, then the requirement will be considered as uncovered. If the test script is added but there is no test run, then the requirement will be considered as covered. Skip status will not affect the requirement status. If there is any query, retest, or blocked test, and no failed test, no to-do test, the requirement will be considered as unknown. If all tests are passed or skipped, the requirement will be considered as OK. If there is any failed test, the requirement will be considered as no OK. And if the coverage is calculated based on test case and test script but there is no test run, then the requirement will be considered as not run. If there is any to-do test and no failed test, the requirement will be considered as not run. Precondition defines the initial state or context required for the test case to run successfully and produce accurate and reliable results. Precondition defines the initial state or context required for the test. On the left side, we can see the precondition repository. On the left side, we can see that where we create folders, just like other features. Here we create a new precondition. Click to edit it. Within the precondition, we can manipulate test case. We can either add an existing test case or we can create a new one.
edit the test case. Or we can view the histories. Users can view the activities related to the chosen precondition. Information's detailed from who created this, when was it last updated, when was it moved to another folder or even removed from that folder. Pretty convenient, right? Now we move to the test case. Well, don't you look at that. The test cases that we created from the precondition appear on the test case display. Actually, whenever we create a test case from the requirement on the preconditions or any of the linked feature, that product will appear on its main feature page. So a test case is a documented set of conditions or steps that define the inputs, action, or expected results for testing a specific aspect of a software application. Let's create new test cases. We can manipulate test cases by dragging and dropping it into the folder. When we click on the folder, it displays all the test case it contains. We can remove from the folder if we don't want to. Previously, we have created a test case via a precondition. Now let's try create a precondition within the test case. Let's create a new one. We can single select it to delete, or we can bulk select them. Now when it comes to test plans, we will talk about this feature later, but let's practice create a new test plan within the test case like we did with the precondition. We can click to view the detail, to do action, remove. Wow, so this is a new feature that we have not talked about yet. Isn't it amazing though? That Agile Test contains so many well-rounded features that serve the sole purpose, delivering comprehensiveness for project management. This is create ad hoc execution. Here is the test execution we just created. We can change the test status to pass or even move this to the archive. And to reverse this action, we can go to the active or the archive one and we can restore it to be active again. Let's run the test execution within the test case. So all the information will display related to this test case. The test case name, the status, the test environments that we have defined before, the dates created and when was it updated, and the test coverage. We didn't add any preconditions, so it did not show. While we did not enable the defects yet. So we go to the settings, we go to the requirements and defects. The problem is we did not assign any issue type to the defect issue types. So let's assign it to this, and we save it. Now we can create defects. That is it for the test case feature. Now let's move on to the test plans. These are the test plans that we created earlier in test case feature. So test plan is a crucial phase in the software testing process. It involves creating a comprehensive strategy and approach for conducting testing activities. We created these test plans earlier, but we noticed that there are some missing information, like the start and end date. Remember to set the test plan start and end dates when you access the test plan feature on the left-hand side. For the search bar, we can search it by the start date. You can search by the test plan dates. When insert the range of the dates, the app displays all the test plans available in that range. So today is the 25. Let's choose from the past, the 20, to the future, the 31. So it will display all the test. You can also access test case and test execution within test plans because they're all linked together. So test execution refers to the process of running test cases and accessing the actual behavior of the software or the system being tested. The main purpose of test execution is to verify whether the software or the system functions correctly, meets specified requirements, and behaved as intended. Let's create a new test execution. Of course, this is the one that we created earlier. You can edit the test execution. It will display the overall execution status based on the test case added. Well, that is the end of the project management. Now we move forward to our next feature, which is overview. Overview is where we find all the general information about the entire project, data collected from all the features, test offers. To access overview, we navigate to the menu. This feature is special because we do not have to, for example, maneuver to requirements to see how many requirements are there in a project, how many defects exist, or the number of test execution conducted from the beginning to the end. This chart calculates the covered and uncovered requirements we have already talked about. And on the right is the requirements and the defects chart that displays the full timeline. There are two requirements created between June to July of 2023. We can change how we want to view the timeline. This is the milestone that we have created. The demo video has 0, but the demo video 1.1 has 4 passes, 2 fails, 0 query, and 1 retest. We can view the full statistic by clicking on it. This is the milestone demo video 1.1 and all the activities related to it. The sessions, the test executions, how many runs, and the milestone activities. Going back to the overview, we can view the testing activities, which includes test sessions and test scripts. That is the end of Agile Test demonstration video. To sum up, Agile Test is a comprehensive test management for Jira. It has business values such as faster marketing, early defects detection, continuous quality assurance, and mitigation of risk. And when talking about agile retrospectives, it has centralized test management, real-time reporting and metrics, improved test execution, and seamless Jira integration. We also want to announce the upcoming features, test coverage, and test traceability. So please stay tuned with us to get the latest news. Thank you for listening.